happened to bring up the name yesterday of Special Ed. What did you think about both of y'all about Special Ed?
I love Special Ed, man. I have Special Ed's one of the first rappers that you got to remember. This is a time, guys, when hip hop still sounded like a hip, a hop, a rippity rap. I'm a kick it, dip it, I'm a fippity fab, right? So we got these other guys coming out, and he's like, what's the song he got? Where he's like, I got a solid gold bone. Oh man, I can't think of the lyrics now. I got it made. I got it made. I got it made, right? I'm your idol, your highest title, numero uno. I'm not a Puerto Rican, but I speak it so that you know. Like he was doing a whole different cadence. He had a little bit of an island accent, so some of his words would come out different. He looked West Indian. He had this like tall, sort of strange demeanor to him. It was like a different caliber. You got to remember, this is no gold chains in hip hop. None of this. And he's talking about, I got it made. I live in a palace. I got, ivory, gold, nice cars, ladies, people cook for me.
I mean, they still had people, I was trying to think about it actually yesterday about the gold chain and the history of it in hip hop. And, they had it from the beginning. Like, tell me who didn't. We were talking about it.
Well, I mean, Tribe Called Quest never wore gold chains. De La Soul never wore gold chains. Look back at Eric B. Eric B. and Rakim. Look back at Rakim. He barely had the thinnest chains after he got some success. That wasn't a wasn't a staple.
But Rakim had his. Yeah, it always has been. Look at Rakim, who he was with. His boy had the hugest freaking chunks.
Bro, go back and look at Grandmaster Flash, the Furious Five. No gold chains at all, bro. Melly Mel.
Well, back then you're talking
the Treacherous Three.
You're talking disco. These dudes had enough bling on them that they didn't need a chain. These guys were wearing gold outfits and shit.
What you gotta silver. What you got to research when the Dookie Chain came in. The Dookie Chain was when they took these thin little ropes
that was Run DMC
that were worn by the disco gods. They had little thin chains, 5 or 6 of them, with a little, whatever at the bottom, a Buddha, a cross, or a little spoon for some Coke, and then boom, all of a sudden, people were wearing these big, gigantic Dookie chains like EPMD. You mentioned Slick Rick, look at the time when people like Mr. T were coming into power,
Other than the conscious rappers, I mean, I think everybody had chains. I don't remember.
Name off 5 to 10 artists right now that had gold chains in the 80s.
In the 80s, you got LL. You got LL, Run DMC.
Daddy Kane.
Big Daddy Kane. I know you just said who?
Eric B. and Rakim.
Eric B. and Rakim.
They wore
who else?
EPMD. Wait, I need one more. I need one more.
What's his name? You got what's his name?
Chub Rock. Boom. Got you.
You got. Do you guys remember the Source magazine?
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay. If you remember the Source magazine, you remember the fake gold chains that they sold in the back of the magazine. Also, if you go back and Google it, do your research. There's an article in the Source magazine where Eric Sermon of EPMD talks about his fake Rolex watch. Okay. Mm-hmm. He talks about his fake Dookie chain. So when you guys say these guys have gold chains and gold, what's the point? Were they Jay-Z rich?
I don't know.
No way. They were wearing fake jewelry to give themselves a look. And much like I mentioned in one of our previous episodes, a lot of African, Egyptian leaders and rulers wore gold as a symbol. So that thin gold chain from the disco era wasn't working no more. I needed something that made me look like an Egyptian god. Rakim.
And that started with like Africa Bambaataa and all that. They brought the big ass.
So I'm glad you brought that up. I'm glad you brought that up, Yohani. Do you remember the leather medallions with the Africa symbol on them and the Puerto Rican flag? Do you know why they came out with that? Because that was them saying we are anti-gold chain. We do not wear gold. We do not support the apartheid. We do not support mining with children in the mines of Africa dying daily just so I could sport this gold. It's why gold is out of style right now. It's why you and I don't have gold on our bodies anywhere, and you don't see anybody in hip hop really bragging about their gold. You got a couple, but it's not on trend like it was in the 60s, 70s, and 80s, you know? So that's something to look into, man. That's like gold and the way it affected the hip hop culture. Like I would argue that if you did see Rakim with a gold chain, it most likely, if it was real, it was borrowed, lent, or it was a movie prop, something to wear in a music video, you know?
I don't think he's one of those that ever cared or showed like that about the jewelry. It was more about the rapping for him. And I respect that guy. He's always had respect from everybody in the entire game. And till this day, he's still as hard as ever. Like, this guy looks like if he came out, it would feel like he just came out from the 80s. I mean, and I think he still has the same skill, but we'll find out real soon.
No, you're right. You're right. It was a great question, man. That was a brilliant think, because we often forget about the gold chain and its impact in hip hop. And you're right. It's such it may be more than I want to admit. It was a big part of a lot of rappers that I listen to. And I want to be that dude that's like, nah, I keep it real, nigga. I keep it real. Fuck that. We don't need all that, But
it wasn't like that.
Exactly.
No, because like we were talking last time we spoke, and I had mentioned this little documentary that I happened to watch also on Netflix. And I said, I recommend that one with Kanye. And it's his old recordings. I think it's called Genius or something like that, Genius, but it's spelled like a little different. And it put him right when, y'all all saw the clip when he gets accepted into Rockefeller and they give him the chain, you know what I mean? And he's like, now I'm part of the Rockefeller crew, sporting his chain. It was like your symbol, like we said, either they gave you the chain, and that's if you're a bigger artist, or you might, if you're an even bigger artist, get the car too, and these are all things you're paying for anyway. And they're gonna really overcharge you. But anyway,
being signed.
The chain has always, so it's interesting because I never heard anyone bring it up, but I think it holds a big significance in the rap world, and it still does to this day. You say no, but I say these guys are still out here sporting all the same material things that unfortunately we promoted in our time. We taught to our, like I said, feel old saying it, like our youth. But yeah, this is the new generation. We taught them these things. I feel guilty because we did all that. We gave them all the bad tools. We gave them some good ones, but we also gave them the bad ones. And now we're trying to tell them, yo, those are bad. But like kids are like, fuck you, I'll learn on my own. But that's how it is. That's how it goes. So we're going to tell them, no, bro, it ain't really about the chain. Look at fucking Jay-Z now. This guy is showing you what you can evolve to, and he's bringing a bunch of people crowd with him, showing people success. Now look at all these Rihanna and all these people becoming billionaires. And I'm like, geez, Jay-Z, throw me a life.
We get a life.
But we can't sit here and say that any of those artists you named from the 80s that wore those gold chains are billionaires now. They're not. They're all broke.
No.
They can't even wear gold now if they wanted to. I mean, I got a flyer right here in front of me. Rakim is going to be performing in Orlando on June 11th. I would love to do a count of how many gold chains he's going to wear that night and how much he's going to represent that. I mean, don't get me wrong. Here's the thing, we got to remember, like somebody like him being God body, gold may represent a different thing. That may be an energy stone. It may be something that you use to channel energy, right? You know what I'm saying? Much like a battery or something, right? So
let's put it this way. Like it's hard to teach an old dog new tricks. You know what I mean? Like we're all some old dogs and we are used to wearing those. I may not have it right now, but I always have my chain on. Naslin is not really that kind of materialistic person. He said he's a simplest and he likes the simplistic life, and it's cool, respect it. But I'm one of those Cubans that look at gold a different way. I don't know how to tell you unless you're Cuban, but Cubans look at gold differently.
Cuban links. You guys invented the Cuban link. I can't be mad at you for that.
There's no other link better than the Cuban link.
For sure.
I would rather. That's like saying, once you eat caviar, like you don't want to eat anything else, like that kind of thing. Once you've had Cuban link, I don't want no Figaro. I don't want no rope chain, no anything else. There's something about the Cuban link, the way it is rounded and it just rests on you. It's comfy and it looks great, and that's why it's like the Cuban cigar. Everybody loves that shit.
Spokesperson. You want? So
the new spokesperson for Cuba. And I also have some Cuban art for sale. If you want to purchase it, let me throw that plug on there. Rodriguez Photo and Art. Okay.
Brought to you by the Gold Foundations of America and the Cubas.
Yes.